Okay, so I'm gonna record this right before I go to bed. I'm being a bit of a perfectionist because this is my third take, and I know that the second video that I recorded is just fine and good enough, but I've missed out on a few things that I want to mention and publish. So, long story short, some insight that I want to share is and has to do with confidence. Now, my confidence and the confidence that I have been gaining, and just my overall energy and just perspective on being able to do and know, and just just conviction, the conviction that I have in everything being ordained and just being set in stone, and that inner knowing that I have that things will work out is coming from a place of me following through on my word, me doing and acting out on the specific actions that this version of myself that's living in my desired reality is acting on. So the things that this version of myself is doing, the identity that I am adopting and embodying, what actions is he following through on? For about a week and a half now, I've been fully dialed in on this frequency and have been acting from that place. I have been acting from a place of my wish being fulfilled, denying the evidence of my senses, and not completely denying the evidence of you have to actually, let me take that back. Denying the evidence of my senses to the point where anything in my physical reality, I just genuinely, I'm detached from, and just I'm fully invested into the reality that I know I'm worthy of experiencing, and just focusing on that and that only. I'm getting sidetracked, but the actions that this version of myself is acting upon, that I have been stacking and following through on, are a part of my word. These actions are boxing. I've been working on the skill of boxing, just putting and setting aside 15 minutes a day to get better at the skill of boxing. I've been going to the gym naturally, like I do that. I've always been doing that, but so that's like out the question. Like I do that. That's normal. That's natural. But following through on boxing, following through on making daily YouTube videos and daily uploads. I know this is something that I've been putting off, but like I'm following through on it. Like I'm taking that action, from a place of alignment. I'm taking that action and alignment with that identity. The YouTube videos, the boxing, what else? A clean diet. I've cleaned up my diet. I've drifted just a tad bit, but ultimately I know that I have control over myself to the point where I won't really drift. Even though I just said I've drifted slightly, but I know exactly what I'm supposed to be eating, and I have been eating right, and I have confidence in saying that. I have trust in saying that. But the more you follow through on the things that you know you're supposed to be doing, the more confidence that you build in yourself, because you were following through on your word, and on top of that, you are collapsing those time waves. You are growing closer to manifesting and bringing forth more of what is more desirable. And just, because the more you are closer to that, the more you're acting through that identity, the more you are manifesting more of that desired reality. Because every action is coming from a place of identity, so there's just no reason why none of whatever else that you want to experience can't be true and won't come to pass. It won't come to fruition. There's no doubt in the fact that it won't happen. Avoiding more of what I know I'm not supposed to be doing is another thing that has helped me with, building more confidence. Because the more I do such actions, the more I am operating from the wrong identity, the more I am misaligned, the more I am not in alignment. When you are not in alignment, you are confusing yourself. You're destroying your self-trust. When you do that, when you confuse yourself, you're confusing the universe, because you know that you and the universe are one. You and reality are one. So the more you act out on such actions that you know is keeping you limited, boxed in, confined, whatever it may be, in other words, from a place of the old identity, the more you're going to reinforce the same old reality. It all comes from and all stems from self-control. The more self-control you have, the more you're able to guide yourself, the more you're able to control and guide reality. Neuronknowledge mentioned in his book, how else do you expect to control reality if you cannot control yourself? That has been my primary focus throughout this entire month of August. I'm sick and tired of delaying my progress and not seeing the results that I want to see in my life, because I know how bad it is. I'm deserving of it. But my actions need to be in alignment with I'm being a little bit of a perfectionist, but that's pretty much the video. That's it. Like, it all comes from a place of being able to control yourself. The more you are able to follow through on your word, the more confidence you build within yourself, the more patience you, like for me as a trader, the more patient I am, the more self-control I am. The more self-control I am, the more self-control I have, right? Every time I follow through on all the actions that I know I'm supposed to be doing from the place of being the wish fulfilled or my wish fulfilled, the more confidence I build, the closer I grow to you can say God. The closer I grow to myself, the more self-love I have, the more I'm able to manifest, the more I'm able to bring forth what it is that I want to manifest into my life. The more I act upon the actions that I know I'm not supposed to be acting upon, the more I'm reinforcing the same reality, the same old identity, the same old results. It is that simple. You can't sit, you dead ass cannot sit in 2 chairs at once, my nigga. You can't sit in 2 chairs at once. You gotta pick a side, bro. Like, how bad do you want this shit, man? Literally, how bad do you want this shit for yourself, bro? If you don't want it that bad for yourself, how bad do you want it for the people in your life? For me, I want it bad from the people in my life. I want to provide for my family so much, man. Like, it means the world to me. So, yeah, that's it.